Former South African President Jacob Zuma has been hospitalized, according to media reports. Two family members said he had left Nklanda on Monday for a regular checkup at a Johannesburg hospital. A source told the publication that he may stay there for the week, but doubted the severity of Zuma's illness. Meanwhile, 8 years' worth of former president's tax records could be in the hands of journalists within the next 10 days after the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria ordered the South African Revenue Service to hand them over in the public interest. But this is highly unlikely to happen anytime soon, given how intensely the tax agency has battled to keep Zuma's records under wraps. Now it says not because of who he is, but because of the far-reaching implications the disclosure of taxpayer information could have on its ability to collect revenue.
Now, Arise South Africa correspondent Mxolisi Masango joins us. I want to say thank you very much for your time here on Newsday. And let's talk about Jacob Zuma, always in the eye of the storm. What's going on with his tax records at the moment?
Well, absolutely. There seems to be no ending to the legal challenges as well as health challenges that the former South African statesman has been facing over the past year or so. Now, yesterday we get wind that he will continue, of course, to be submitting his SARS and tax returns to the collector of revenue here in the country when the North Gauteng High Court in Pretoria came out and said that after the lengthy battle of him trying to hide some of his tax affairs, that he will of course be forced to submit those tax affairs because they felt it was in the public interest. Now this dates back to that lengthy battle in which he has tried to of course conceal some of his tax affairs at the back of how media has been trying to really get hold of some of his tax affairs. And in that intro as well, as you've rightfully read, we heard how the tax revenue service itself has come out to say that they're not trying to merely conceal because of who Zuma is, but they're trying to conceal because of the far-reaching implications of them making his tax affairs public. So the media comes out and say that we'd like to know what has been happening because there has been allegations of how he's been ducking and diving the taxman and how purchases had been made on several occasions under his watch during his tenure as well as in his private capacity. So it's some of those records that right now are at the center of the controversy of having to have him submit all his tax affairs. At the back of that, this is at a time where the former statesman is still in hospital battling an undisclosed illness. What the family has been telling us is that he's been undergoing a routine checkup, but this will be happening at a Johannesburg hospital. Now, he left his homestead in Nkandla, not too far from where we are right now in Durban. That's where his hometown is, and was flown down to Johannesburg for that routine checkup, which he is still in hospital for.
And how do the South Africans feel about his, recurrent health issues? And also, how will this tax revelation affect his court cases?
Look, like the Revenue Service has been trying to say, is that, it's going to have far damaging consequences on the former statesman, because first of all, how do you go about and conceal your tax affairs for such a very lengthy time? So one can expect that that would obviously mean that there's some sort of jail time that might be, of course, given to him for that, because dodging tax is a criminal offense. At the back of that as well, South Africans, the reaction on Twitter that I've been looking at right now, South Africans just feel that this is merely just another delay tactic on behalf of the former statesman who's just trying to duck and dive, the glare of the media, the glare of the full arm of the law, because right now he is deemed to be unfit to be in his cell due to, he's been put now on medical parole. So those are some of the conversations that are making the rounds now. South Africans just blatantly saying that they feel that he's just, ducking and diving the full arm of the law.
But does it make it any worse or any better for South Africans understanding that the authorities do not even believe that he's ill?
Well, it's a two-sided coin, I can tell you this for now, because one for all, throughout that court case over the past few weeks, we've seen how his defense team has been at lengths, just basically trying to prove that this is a man who's very ill. This is a man who can't stand trial at this particular point in time. And on the other hand, you just have the state, which comes out to say that, look, this is a man who's trying to dodge the full arm of the law after committing all those crimes. He's supposed to serve jail time. So it's those arguments that are going back and forth now. Is he fit to stand trial? Is he not fit to stand trial? With most South Africans coming out to say that he actually should be hurled back to the courts to do his time and face the full arm of the law.
Mxolisi, this is very interesting. You're actually in the courtroom right now. Can you tell us what's going on around you? And, apologies, it seemed like you were in the courtroom. But can you tell us how you think this will actually play out for the former president? Do you think he will be drawn in to face these charges? Or do you think he'll continue to escape with these distraction tactics?
Well, we've seen how his legal team, has downplayed everything that has been happening over the past year. And of course, delay after delay tactic that we've seen from his legal team from the time that those corruption charges were brought up to the time where there were questions around whether or not he would be standing trial. And now to the point where we're at now, where his health has been brought into question, whether this is a man who's able to stand trial. So it would seem like he's got a defense team that is willing to go to any lengths to try and make sure that he dodges jail time. And at this point in time, we've seen how that medical parole happened under the watch of, the former prison commissioner, who was thought to be a very staunch Jacob Zuma supporter, who approved his parole. So it would seem that he's got all these alliances and all his forces in the corner that are making sure that he dodges jail time as much as he can. But of course, we are eagerly awaiting to see how the next couple of months heading into the new year are going to fare out for the former statesman as he tries to duck and dive jail time further.
All right, I want to say many thanks to you, Michael. It's always a pleasure having you here on Newsday. You have yourself a lovely time.